Hepplethwaite, I must see Silverbridge. Immediately.
What do you imagine has changed since you were last denied your wish?
Certainly not your impertinence, but as you are his keeper, I'll tell you. The probable thief of a ministry document has been brutally murdered. Silverbridge instigated the move to terminate an official investigation into the theft. You may draw your own inferences. I have drawn mine. He may speak to me now, or to Inspector Lestrade later. Announce this now, or I will bring the entire investigative apparatus of Scotland Yard and the Ministry of Defence to bear on this house.
Your reputation for subtlety is undeserved, Mr. Holmes. I'll take you in.
Hepplethwaite, what's going on? Is he very ill?
He'll come round. Be patient for a moment. The potion usually works unless he's been abusing it.
Does this happen frequently?
He's been frail since his wife's death. Occasionally physical consequences manifest themselves.
Holmes? Did you say Holmes?
Yes, sir. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I believe.
Doesn't the child have his own room?
Of course, but he spends most of his time in here with his father. His effects are always available. I'm under instructions not to tidy.
You do not look well, Mr. Silverbridge.
Forgive my not rising. Unsteady on my pegs of late.
My news will not improve your condition. Thomas Pratt has been brutally murdered.
Oh, how dreadful. Why was he killed?
The motive is unclear, but he was certainly involved in the formula's disappearance from the ministry. The vigorous investigation that you quashed is now not only justified, it is urgently necessary. My brother will expect your support. Will you assist him?
No. I mean, oh my heavens,
What is your diagnosis, Doctor? His coloration is discouraging. Is he in danger?
I think not. His pulse is weak, but regular. He's fainted. The convulsions are not serious.
Why should the news of Pratt affect him, sir?
Pratt was not your only subject, but there is no necessary cause and effect. He may have a feeble constitution. In any case, he should revive momentarily.
Oh, yes, thank you, I think.
Did you know Pratt well?
No, seemed a civil chap, a little dissipated. There were rumours. What happened?
He was shot and discarded in the Thames, like a sewer rat.
If he was the thief, I should think the matter of the document's disappearance is closed.
Hardly. We should all want to know why he stole it, and for whom. Your committee will be especially interested in what he did with it, and my brother will want to know why the initial inquiry was abandoned. I assure you, questions will be raised.
You'll have to excuse me, gentlemen. I'm not feeling well.
Why did you move to terminate the investigation into the theft?
In the end, it was unanimous, excepting Mycroft. The document was deemed insignificant, all things considered.
Flapdoodle. Others may have calculated the political consequences should the disappearance be exposed, but not you, I think. Was your vote coerced?
What an asinine question, of course not. I'm my own man on all issues.
What I see around me refutes that contention.
My domestic arrangements are no concern of yours.
Wrong, Mr. Silverbridge. Whatever motivates you concerns me. I believe you were coerced, and I will ferret out the truth, the consequences be damned. Doesn't the child have his own room?
Of course, but he spends most of his time in here with his father. His effects are always available. I'm under instructions not to tidy.
That's your son's portrait, isn't it? Handsome lad. Where is he now?
Virgil is at school at Marylebone in Windsor. He's a day pupil.
He looks a clever boy. Must take after his mother. I believe I'll call on him.
Mr. Holmes, please don't. I beg you. Stop. You don't know what you're doing. I must not assist. Please.
Pepplethwaite, where is Virgil Silverbridge?
I saw him off to school on a Windsor train.
His father believes the boy is in danger. You suspect the same, or you're dimmer than I think.
The master's worried sick, Mr. Holmes, as you've seen, and he's frightening me. He's eaten nothing. The fainting is worse than when his missus passed away. It must have to do with Virgil. Nothing else would undo him.
What's happened? What's different? When did he change?
He brought home a letter yesterday on pink paper. I saw it when I lighted the fire. He did not confide its contents to me, but he has been closeted away since then. Hasn't left the room. He falls apart in private.
His jacket has no pockets, and there is no paper on his desk. Do you know where the letter is now?
I never saw it out of his hand. He may have burned it.
I don't believe Silverbridge destroyed it, but given his condition, I don't think he will voluntarily admit it exists, let alone divulge its contents. We must have that letter, Watson.
What is it, Holmes?
It's an opening move, Watson. PQ4, PQB4, NQB3, PK4. It's a variation on the famous Queen's Gambit. Probably saw his father make the move. But why write it down? Note the Windsor postmark, the lip gloss on the adhesive, and stationer's watermark.
If your committee's investigation continues or the police learn of this note, Virgil's temporary absence will become permanent. Compliance will ensure his safe return in a few days' time.
Oh, yes, thank you, I think.
The note is genuine, isn't it? He is missing.
Yes, when the headmaster reported Virgil's absence, I had already received the note. I said the boy was ill.
Kidnapping is an atrocious crime, and extortion is as bad. But there is more at stake here than your son's well-being.
Virgil is my heir and only child. I could not jeopardize his safety for the sake of a classified document.
You may have jeopardized the security of your country.
To my everlasting shame, I fear you are right. It was a difficult choice, Mr. Holmes. Pray you never have to make it.
I will not judge you, sir. This crime is a strand in a tortuously tangled knot of theft, murder, and conspiracy. Despite the note's warning, I must try to unravel this snarl of deception and perfidy. You are wrong to assume the kidnapper's goodwill. Virgil is temporarily useful to them. When he ceases to be, who knows what will happen? One does not trust the word of extortionists. He must be urgently found.
My hopes and Virgil's too rest with you, Mr. Holmes.
Can you spare a picture of the boy?
Of course. He's bigger now, and his hair has lost most of its lovely red.
And what about something that is particularly his?
Take anything.
We're for Windsor, Doctor. Any pertinent ideas?
None you haven't considered. Shall we renew our acquaintance with a certain redoubtable hound?
You know my methods. Use the best tool for the job. If your hair is on fire, don't try to put it out with a hammer.
Do you know who holds the boy?
Not at all. But I do know that a woman with dubious taste in cosmetics sealed the ransom note. I presume she posted it. It is likewise clear that she did not write the note.
Clear to you, perhaps. A professional opinion would not be amiss.
Hebblethwaite, is Virgil a careless or mischievous boy?
Not at all. He's a perfect angel. His only excesses are he's too trusting and overly fond of peppermints.
We need something for our tracker that is particularly Virgil's. Something with his scent on it.
Please, take anything you think would help.
My compliments, Sherman. I hope we find you well.
Blast you, Sherlock! You've interrupted a perfectly good nap. What do you want?
Common courtesy would make for a pleasant change.
That commodity's in shorter supply than usual. What's your business?
We'd like to borrow Toby.
How did you question?
Must we guess the reason for your foul humour?
And you've the brass to call yourself a detective?
Your rheumatism is acting up, I see, and you've been sleeping poorly.
True, but I'm more than 10. Common ailments at my age.
Then, of course, your canine companion is not on the premises.
Perhaps you're not as slow-witted as you look.
Would you like a fresh cuppa, Sherman?
Do you think Toby can be had for a cup of tea? The scheme's unworthy of you, lad.
I won't insult your intelligence, Sherman. Don't insult mine. If you're beyond recognizing a civil gesture, we can leave.
If I impute a polluted motive to your actions, Sherlock, I'm sorry.
Apology accepted, old friend.
Recall that I said if.
We have need of your treasure's skill.
Everybody wants Toby. I wonder I'm still in business. Well, you can't have him. He's abandoned me, fickle beast. Dallying out west with his lady friend, I'll wager. A slinky Afghan. The dot has to run us St. James Park.
You haven't hidden him or let him out to others, have you?
You know I'd lend him if I could. When have I denied you?
Sherman, have you ever considered ventilating these premises?
Nothing worse for man or beast than a chill wind. Besides, the scent of the neighbourhood is not what you might call savoury.
Of all the creatures in the shop, I'm partial to Badger.
If I thought you were serious, I would schedule a sanity hearing. Badger is a bad-tempered, malignant brute. Have you forgotten when he buried his teeth in your ankle?
It's just his nature.
Yes, he is a thoroughly nasty one.
Hello, young man. May I pet your dog?
You probably shouldn't. He's not vicious, but he doesn't seem to like it. Petting, that is.
I think I recognize your dog. His name is Toby.
No, my dog's name is Rex. He stays right by me.
I'm sure he likes you very well. But he belongs to an old man who misses him.
Then he shouldn't let Rex run untended. Finders keepers. I'll take better care of him. He's my friend. I'm keeping him, no matter what Aunt Agatha says.
Birdie, what do you know of the little fellow on the bench?
Master St. John Hart. He's often here, lives with relations across the way. Just took up with that pooch.
You know the dog?
I've seen him before. Look how he sits so quiet. Seems to understand the boy needs his company.
He wouldn't mistreat the animal.
Never. Always kind to Fred and keen. Knows all about his simian ancestors. I've been tempted to lend him out. Boy's always alone. Pa's in India. He could use a friend.
This could be difficult, Watson. Why is the boy so taken with Toby?
He may be lonesome. Perhaps he is hungry for companionship.
Who is not? When Don said, "No man is an island," he included women and children. The park's best season is a closely argued issue. Do you have an opinion?
It's a sterile question to me, Holmes. Weather cannot affect the park's true beauty or its inestimable value.
Sherman, a young boy is caring for Toby. I'd like to reward him for his trouble.
You're on your own hook there, Sherlock. I'm without funds.
He's not looking for money. Another pet might serve. Might I purchase one for him?
A business transaction? That's novel. No, it would be like selling one of my children. I might give one away, but not Badger.
The stoat, then? Or your Indian companion?
Ah, the mongoose. Yes, I would part with him, if I could find him. The little brute has disappeared again. He's a clever beast, like all of his species.
Here's the rascal, taking a kip in your clock.
Excellent. I suppose he had the cuckoo for a snack. Naughty goose. Still, he'll make a nice pet for the boy.
The lost has been found, Sherman. Might I make the transaction and use Toby?
You have a mission, I suppose. And something for him to follow.
Absolutely. He should be invaluable.
Well, put him on a scent. And mind, you bring him back in good condition.
Listen, lad, I need to borrow Toby. May I do that? I couldn't give up Rex. But I need him to find another boy who's lost. He might be in great danger.
Well, I'm sorry for him, but Rex is my friend.
Perhaps we could arrange for a reward, a finder's fee. Would you like that?
I don't want money. I want a friend.
We've brought a new companion for you, Master Hart.
What is it? Tell, please. What is it?
An Indian mongoose.
Lovely. He'll be easy to hide in my room.
Treat him well, won't you?
I will. I promise. I can keep him?
Of course. May we take Toby, Rex?
If you can get him to go with you. I hope he finds what you're looking for. Bye, Rex.
Bring the hound, Watson. We're off to Windsor. I hope the trail is not too cold. We've scoured the town without success. Ideas?
My powers of invention have been depleted, Holmes. We've visited every public hostelry and residential hotel. I've run out of pretext for inquiring about the lad, but let's presume that Toby had a reason for coming this way.
I'm a bit disappointed in the old boy. In fairness, he didn't have a lot to go on. The lad might not even be in Windsor.
I believe the hound is not played out yet, and so do you.
Have you recently seen a boy in a marrow-bone uniform? His dark hair may still show some red.
Me brothers are redheads, but they never went to school.
I rather meant a customer. He was probably accompanied by a woman.
No, sir, I've seen no such couple.
Have you sold any peppermints recently?
Funny you should ask. A lady bought £2 worth just today. She usually buys toffee, got a real sweet tooth she has.
You know where she lives?
Can't say. She comes from that way.
Thank you, lad, for your trouble. I wonder why there are so few people about.
The residents are shy or unsociable. Fear of violence, a holy day, inclement weather predicted. Shall I continue to speculate?
It's no matter. What would we ask? Seen a woman and an unwilling boy, have the constabulary on our heads to no purpose and put the boy at risk? Saints preserve us from the ennui of suburban life, Watson.
You were meant for the city, Holmes, but a certain quiet would suit me now.
I apologize for interrupting your labour. Might I have a moment?
If you're quick about it.
Do you recognize this stationery?
Of course. That paper's pink or sky blue. It's very popular. It's highly affordable, and the scent is refined, and the castle watermark gives it a certain cachet.
Then you couldn't say who might have purchased it?
Not a chance. We sell several boxes each week.
I know it's unusual, but could I ask you to smell the letter?
The scent has been adulterated. I should say overwhelmed by some very common toilet water.
Does the smell recall any particular customer to mind?
No. That Smelson's been running for my handkerchief. Good day.
There's a small person lying on the settee, Watson. I see a sprig of chestnut hair.
I never doubted, Toby. Let's find our way in. Discretion is essential.
The appalling stupidity of certain criminals defies the imagination.
I hope you can take the greatest possible advantage of your observation. Like lucky house burglars, we must be thankful for fools who conceal their keys in imprudent locations.
My God, that was awful. How's the boy? Can he travel?
Calm yourself, Holmes. He'll be fine. What happened?
It was Red Millie, Watson. Struck dead by a beer wagon.
I haven't heard her name for years. This outrage doesn't seem her style. Who are her cohorts?
Well asked. She would never act alone.
They wouldn't be the first malefactors to be shot of their crime on learning that you were in pursuit.
If you're right, I've been careless. But she can't tell us herself. Her body might. Or this house.
What does it matter? We have the boy.
Unfortunately, his rescue does not complete our task. We're swimming in very deep waters, and the shore is nowhere in sight. What is Virgil's condition, Doctor?
I suspect he's been drugged. If so, he'll be sick shortly. I recommend we remove him from here.
Agreed. Go by the alley. The police will be along soon. The accident has drawn attention like manure draws flies. No need to complicate this any further. Take our cab, leave Virgil with Jonas, and discreetly inform his father that the boy is safe. Best return Toby so Sherman doesn't have a conniption.
And what will you do?
I hope there is more to learn here. In a long chain of evidence, this link is now damaged. It will break and become useless if I don't move quickly. Take good care of the boy, Watson. You bear no blame in this disaster, sir. The accident was unavoidable.
I know it in me head, Gov. But me heart ain't got the message. I never seen her till she was under the horses. I'll be all right, but not soon. And I suppose the coppers will be coming round.
Did you send word to the MP, Watson?
Discreetly sent and gratefully acknowledged, Holmes.
What have you told the boy?
I promised him tea, and I said we would see him home.
And so we will, but not now. For the moment, he'll have to fit in here. Wiggins, I need your assistance. Are you free?
I got things that needs attention. Is this a paying proposition?
Yes. Virgil, meet Wiggins. Wiggins, this is Virgil. I'd like you to keep an eye on him. Take him with you on your rounds.
Bit green, ain't he? Won't last an hour on the street. Clothes will get stale. Or worse.
Perhaps I should take the boy home, or at least upstairs.
No, Doctor, his home may be watched, and our rooms are unsuitable for an unsupervised lad. Wiggins, take Virgil to Stitch Rumsey's on Jermyn Street. Tell him what Virgil needs by way of suitable clothing. I'll settle with him later.
Right, Gav. If you've got the tin, I've got the time. Let's go, boy.
Come in, Mrs. Hudson. Preparations are complete for your reception at apartments at Kensington. You're expected. Dispose of this note, F.C.
A bit melodramatic, but I'm sure you may accommodate him. I understand his reluctance to make this an official matter.
Reluctance would be an understatement, I think. I wonder if friend Farthington knows the disparaged solicitor Bledsoe.
Because they've both been called to the bar? I would think it...
Lawton said Bledsoe kept chambers at Gray's Inn. Farthington lives there. He's just the gentle sort to befriend an outcast. I'll clean the surface with a pinch of jeweller's rouge.
You'll have to make it first.
The jeweller's mark should be legible. There it is. I recognize it. Burlington Jewellers in the Arcade. Smarmy sort of place.
Perhaps we should make ourselves unwelcome there.
I don't see why not. Come along, Watson. The game's afoot.
Quite so, Holmes. Make yourselves comfortable, gentlemen. I will be with you momentarily.
Old Fritz has a place of honour here. It appears to be an honest likeness.
What was Frederick to Wilhelm II?
Great-uncle to his grandfather. By all accounts, the most illustrious commander of his age, notwithstanding the fact that expediency was his first and only political principle.
I read he was cold, snuff-stained, secretive and excessively cerebral. Not precisely the role model one might wish for the new emperor.
The image does not inspire confidence among foreigners. Nevertheless, he was a masterful combination of remarkable characteristics. He was not gratuitously dubbed the Great. Friend and foe found him so. Thank you for receiving us, sir, in your apartments.
Our pleasure, Mr. Holmes, accompanied by your Boswell, too. One has read of your ingenious exploits, of course. The Empress Frederick will be quite envious.
Very kind of you to say so.
These were Prince Albert's rooms. The Kaiser is sensible of the honour his cousins bestow.
I perceive the resemblance between you and Frederick the Great.
A few fine traits run strong in our family. Regrettably, not all. The sweep of his genius was enormous. Soldier, musician, politician. He loved England, you know.
And the affection was reciprocated. Who is your Voltaire, sir?
Such men are not common, Mr. Holmes. But the Kaiser has determined he will be found.
My mission is difficult, Your Highness. May I speak frankly?
You may. Mr. Carter recommends you, and the Kaiser opines that you are a man of goodwill.
I believe an agent of the Imperial Chancellor is engaged in a scheme detrimental to British interests, and to your own intentions, as I understand them.
One is not surprised. Von Bismarck and I are at odds. He is a desperate man. Who is the agent?
I'd like you to confirm his identity. Given your title, I would have thought a memento of the first Caesar to be appropriate for your rooms.
Never! The title is a linguistic accident endured also by my Russian cousin. Julius was an ambitious demagogue and profligate. His reign was not divinely ordained, and he betrayed his birthright, which must always be wrong.
Your view of history is illuminating, sir. The late prince engaged in many philanthropic activities.
I believe he was generous with his time.
And he understood the power of a photograph.
Photographs exert a valuable educational influence on the public.
They're better than advertisements, Your Highness. People think them incontestable proof of an event or state of being. Despite the fact that they're rarely spontaneous, they are, for some, the true historical record.
The Kaiser enjoys being photographed.
Please look at this and tell me if he strongly reminds you of someone. I believe you have recognized the likeness, Your Majesty. Who is it?
Bismarck's cur, Colonel Mullendorf. If he's in England, it's an unofficial visit. I left him in Berlin without a beard, incidentally. What is he involved in?
I believe he has received or will receive Ministry of Defense secrets, which were stolen by a British clerk.
Espionage would suit Bismarck's current style. Mullendorf, der Wachthund as he's known, is the Chancellor's instrument. He doubtless intends to turn over the stolen material to my military and compromise them. Can his plans be frustrated?
If he and the document are still in England, yes. The affair need never reach the public's notice here or in Germany. To that end, I have kept Scotland Yard out of my inquiry. I should say that Her Majesty's government believes you blameless in this matter. What do you know of Mullendorf's habits, Your Highness?
Almost nothing. He's a great bore, and my father distrusted him. We have no common connection save Graf von Zeppelin. I do recall that he's a trencherman, enormous appetite, and he adores Wagner, a fool for the ring. Decent voice, I believe.
Why would he act contrary to your interests? His behavior is treasonous.
He reveres Bismarck as the true embodiment of the state.
But he owes allegiance to his emperor, surely. What of duty and loyalty?
Attributes of national character may turn to vices in some men, Mr. Holmes. British imperturbability may become callousness. The French concern for appearance may devolve into vanity. Obedience is a Prussian virtue, but slavish compliance to false authority is its vice.
Thank you, Your Highness.
He does not lack for courage, Mr. Holmes. Do not underestimate him. If you confront him, he will not slink away.
We must take our leave, Your Highness. Any parting advice?
I counsel great caution. While serving as a provincial official, Mullendorf was several times charged with reckless and violent behavior, but he was not once convicted. Witnesses for the prosecution always seem to disappear before trial. Keinen Zeugen, keinen Probe. No witnesses, no proof. He is a dangerous and unpredictable adversary. Take no chances.
Thank you for your concern.
And I can offer a morsel which may confer an advantage if you confront him. Mention Baron Buchholz Svoboda. It was he who laid open Mullendorf's face in an unlawful duel. Not 5 men know both participants. Mullendorf knows that I am one of them. He will be mortified, if not chastened, to learn that you come from me. Buchholz Svoboda's name will serve you better than my imperial seal.
I'll remember the name, Your Highness. Thank you. You'll be fine here, won't you, lad? Dr. Watson explained everything.
There's not much to do, and it smells quite awful. I'd like my train set, please, and...
Not possible, Virgil, I'm sorry. I'm sure you and Wiggins can amuse yourselves pitching pennies and so on. Later, Mrs. Hudson will give you tea, all right?
It's not like I have a choice, is it?